All right, we're here with Mary Fagley, teacher at the high school, English teacher, and she's going to tell us about her use of Facebook in the classroom. Hard to believe we're talking about this, but yes, Facebook in the classroom. Can you tell me how you're using it academically?
Sure. Well, this year first of all, I've really noticed a big increase in the amount of students who were on Facebook. And for one reason or another, were asking me to be friends with them. And I just really kind of took heed, I guess, in all of the warnings of sort of all the dire consequences that could happen, which I never really had any of those experiences. But just this year, especially since there were so many of them, and the freshmen, I do teach 3 sections of honors freshman English, they just really seemed like they were very tech savvy, more this year than I'd ever seen before. And I started to think about ways, and started to read a little bit about how could I sort of harness this rather than just sort of not letting it do what it could do. So just in the beginning, it was just really friending them, or if they would post something that had happened to them that was good, just kind of setting up that sort of social connection. But there have been individual cases where if I've been on and a student has been on, where if I've had kids out who've been sick, if they need help, I can give them in real time, I can give them instructions, and we can talk about something if they have a question. I've had cases where if I needed to go offline to send them an email that was an attachment of an assignment, that I can do that as well. And it just provides, there's no sort of a case now where I really worry, did I forget to say something, or if I have an idea, I feel perfectly comfortable that I can say, we're getting ready to start a big project after next week that for me is kind of new because it involves videos and posting things, which if we can set something up to do that on Facebook, it'll be perfect. And it's something, I have a BlackBerry, so this is a smartphone. It's the kind of phone that you would have to have with internet access to be able to do it. Since I can't do it here at school, I don't have my phone out. I'm not flashing it around because obviously our kids can't be communicating with us here. But outside of school, it's just it's the way that they communicate. Right. And I've always felt like I've been the kind of teacher and librarian before that kind of met the kids where they were, and that's this came in and was an ability for me to be able to communicate with them on their level in the way that they like to learn and communicate. That said, I was going to say one Sunday morning, my husband and I were sitting at Taco Bell, and I got a Facebook message from one of my students needing specific help on something, and so the immediacy, and I don't mind, I think part of it, I don't know if it's just because I bought into it, but I like it so much, the immediacy. I mean, granted, there's a lot of times when we don't all want to be found, sure, but I like that if there's a student that has a question, they know I'm on it, that I'm for real about it, and they know that if they want to ask me a question, they do. And so then right there, when I had that question from the student, I was able to turn around and give her that response.
And if you didn't want to, you had that choice.
Well, sure.
If
absolutely.
it was a romantic dinner at Taco Bell.
It was not a romantic dinner at Taco Bell. But I would say on average, probably 2 to 3 questions a night I have. There's so much more to it there. I've even seen assignments where it takes like a character, like we're getting ready to do a book report in our freshman class. That's a book project, and one of the things that I was reading of different ideas that we could do would be to actually make a Facebook profile page for fictional characters, and there are actually a lot of them out there. I know that Abraham Lincoln has one, and Frank has one. So of course, typical of any teacher, we're kind of known as, the innovative people, I mean, it's, we sort of mash things up and we use them in purposes that they were never, take Microsoft Office or PowerPoint, when it first started. I'm sure, teachers really were the people that kind of made it what it needed to be for education.
On the cheap a lot
oh, well,
times.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. So taking something like Facebook and harnessing it for what we want it to do, I think this is something. Now we just have to decide how we're going to pick it up and run with it.